Hey everybody, what's up? Big Jason. This is the latest and special episode of the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. Today we're talking about easy email automations with ActiveCampaign. It's a one-on-one. It's geared towards more beginners, but I'm going to be taking questions. So if you have some advanced email automation questions for ActiveCampaign, fire away. Ask as many questions as you want throughout the show, whether it's on what I'm discussing, or if you have, any sort of question about ActiveCampaign too. So I'm here to help. If you don't have an account, you can get a free trial, no CC required, to follow along at ActiveCampaignRocks.com. ActiveCampaignRocks.com. All right. If you want to chat in real time, sorry, I just spit. You can join us on the private Breakthrough Email Marketing Show Skype group. Open up Skype and then load this URL in your browser, breakthroughemailmarketing.com/Skype. So if you joined me yesterday on my easy email automations webinar, that was in general. I did use ActiveCampaign as a baseline for doing email automations, but I answered questions about Aweber and other service providers, how to do it. But today is solely on ActiveCampaign. Who cares about Aweber or ConfusionSoft or Entrefart, any of those other guys? 100% ActiveCampaign today. Again, if you want to follow along, get a free account, ActiveCampaignRocks.com. All right, so why should you be doing email automations in the first place? So someone signs up, you send them a autoresponder series, everybody gets the same email consecutive days or every other day or 3 times a week. What else is there? Well, for one thing, you don't know if people are skipping the first 2 emails, seeing the third, and depending on how you write your emails, the third might not make that much sense or be as powerful if they didn't even see the first 2. Okay, so that's part of it. And then, you know how you do an upsell in a sales funnel? So someone already has their credit card out. Probably should have one handy. So here's my PayPal. So they have their PayPal account, they're logged into their PayPal, or they got their PayPal debit card or credit card, whatever. And you're like, hey, if you like this, you'll love this. I got a great deal for you. Same thing with email automations. Based on what they're doing, the video they're watching, the report they just downloaded, you could follow up immediately and say, hey, you can just engage with them, build a relationship, get some feedback, survey them based on what they read. Or again, you can do an email automation upsell. So I'm going to be discussing all this. I'm going to showing you, how to do that in ActiveCampaign and why you should be doing it. But again, looking for your questions. All right, I'm here to help. I'm trying to cover the basics that I think you need to know. But again, everybody has different experiences, so it doesn't matter how quote unquote newbie or technophobe the questions are, fire away. I'll get to all of them, I promise. All right, so you should see a poll if you're online. Are you currently using ActiveCampaign? It looks like it's split. It's 43% yes, they have a paid account, 14% yes, trial account, and 43% no, I'm curious. Great. So again, if you want to follow along in your own account and you don't even need a credit card, you don't have to have your wallet out, ActiveCampaignRocks.com. All right. I'm going to be monitoring the Skype group over here. Okay, so here are some case studies of people using email automation. And there's several variances that apply to email automations, and those are triggers based on behavior. So someone does something like I was talking about, they read a PDF or download a PDF or watch a certain video. So that's what we're looking at right now. When I share my screen, that would help. I'm launching Email Image Magic. It's a new plugin to do dynamic personalized images in your emails and landing pages on Monday. So I'm kind of running ragged, but no worries. Nothing I haven't gone through before. All right. Can you see my screen? Is my audio coming through clear? Let me know in Skype or on the landing page in the chat box. Okay, good. Excellent. Thank you very much. All right, so here's some results. So they tested doing triggers based on behavior with email automation, 300% higher open rates, 600% higher click-through rates, and 18% increase in site traffic. Again, it's all about, the upsell example. Someone has their credit card out, they've just done something, and you're immediately saying, hey, by the way, it's kind of like that. So in this case study, they're on the website, they're reading an article, they're watching a video, and bam, you trigger an email, and it's part of the thought sequence, and it's really good for conversions, higher response, and as you see, open rates, click-through rates, site traffic. Now let's look at some more where it's actually impacting sales as well. And then we'll get right into ActiveCampaign. I just wanted to, whet your appetite, like, wow, this stuff really works. This can have a huge impact. All right, so here's the results. For this company, the average open rate was about 20%, while the click-through rate was 2%. Now the average open rate is 40% and the click-through rate is 6%. So the click-through rate 2% to 6% doesn't seem like a lot, but this company has a huge list. So 4% is massive. I have lots of clients where that would be massive as well. And then we're just going to go one more. All right. So this company, a 525% increase in click-through rate. Nice. When compared to just regular emails with no rhyme or reason. Well, obviously, if they sign up to the list, there is a reason, but it's just like bam, 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 with no regard to what they're doing or if they're even engaging. And then the open rate increased by more than 220%. And the triggered email automation emails represented 20% of all revenue generated. So some huge results. All right, so let's get in to ActiveCampaign. All right, so how do they do that? I mean, these are big companies, and they probably have IT staffs and someone with an engineering degree. They're probably using Lyris or ExactTarget, some huge, massive email service providers. They probably have a third-party company that's trying to integrate people's behaviors on the website. Well, it doesn't matter if they do, because with ActiveCampaign, you don't need all that. So you need to set up the base for ActiveCampaign to do all this by tracking what people are doing on your website, in your membership area. And how you do that is with site tracking. So if you click on apps, you'll see site tracking and event tracking. So site tracking is really simple. Let me transfer to Dreamweaver. Thanks for taking that poll. Sorry, someone's setting up a meeting to talk about email, of course. Just chatting with ActiveCampaign support, and what the heck, they sent me this video of this bunny rabbit. Oh, it's cute. That's funny. Why would he send me something about bunny rabbits? I have no idea. Why? Okay, so before we go into Dreamweaver, here's an example that, I do this myself. I use site tracking, event tracking. So obviously they're going to, if you enable it, they're going to track the links. That's right. But here is an event, BEM show register value ask question. So it doesn't matter what breakthrough email marketing show. If you come back, when I do a custom opt-in page and a landing page, I put in Facebook. So I have a special code. You don't have to worry about it, but I want to know if they ask a question beforehand. Here we go. And I also do an event where the event is BEM show register and the description is email image magic. So I describe what their interest is, email image magic. Okay, so I'm collecting this data so I can use it later on in email automations. So let's go to my Dreamweaver and I'll actually show you the code. Let me shut down Facebook. It's probably sucking the internet. Ed, I'm not sure if you're an Email Response Warrior member, but you asked to join the Email Response Warrior group. You need to be a customer to do that. It's private. All right, switching to Dreamweaver. Here we go. Believe that's it. Yes. Oh, someone private messaged me how do they find out more about email image magic? Just go to emailimageMagic.com. You can sign up for the early bunny list. I'm releasing it on Monday. You can see how it all works and all that good stuff. All right. So here is the site tracking code. It's pretty straightforward. You're just copying and pasting into your web pages. They do have a free plugin that I'll show you in a bit that you can install in WordPress. And that's awesome for membership sites because each and every page your students go to or not go to. So I look at it this way. So, I have my Email Response Warrior course. There's a lot of great content. But what is the few items of content where if they consume that, they're going to feel like they got their money's worth just on that content, okay? So I want to set up automations to see after a certain period of time, once they become a member, have they consumed that content? If not, I want to follow up with them, okay? We're going to set that up bare bones from the get-go later on so you can see how that works. But that's just an awesome example if you're a product owner with a membership site. And it's also good for when people start complaining, like, I think I might unsubscribe or might refund because I'm not seeing any value. So you can look it up in their contact record and be like, yeah, you really haven't even checked it out. And then you can refund them without them even demanding it because you really don't want them as a customer if they're going to be like that, at least me. All right, so here's the event data. So here's the event tracking. So it says event here. So where it says your event, that's where you would put your event. So you would say BEM show register. So it's similar to tagging. I prefer tags, but this is the basics. And then the data is easy email automations, active campaign, okay? So then I can target people that just have this event associated with their account, the BEM show register, or I can target people specifically for this show, okay? Now there's two fields here. So email right here. If someone clicks on a link from your ActiveCampaign email, you don't have to have that filled in, okay? ActiveCampaign ActiveCampaign will associate that account. It'll sync up and track all that. Same thing with event. Here is a little spot for the email. But here's the kicker. So if they're in the membership area, or they manually type in your membership area, something like that, and they haven't clicked on a link, how would you know? So if you have a membership site, there should be a token when someone's logged in for the email address. So for instance, I use wishlist member. So I'm going to put a bracket, WLM/email. Okay. And then I can use that. And you could pay someone on Fiverr $5 to do a PHP to grab the email address from the URL, from a URL as well if you'd wanted to. But that's a little more advanced, so let's just stick to this. So that's just 2 examples. All right, let me go back to my screen. So again, we're just doing the basics right now. We're not really covering the API. There's some more advanced stuff you can do, but this is just the bare bones. And again, we're just getting the data ready to do email automations. Here we go. So again, here's the contact record where you see all the activities. And look at that. I got download PDF, and then I got the name of the PDF. So CCC is Conversion Crash Course, How to Build a Swipe File. And it's a PDF. Awesome. So just some examples of some events you can do. You can do video watching as well. Oh, what's there? Video watched. That's a little more advanced. You can assume that they go to a certain page that they've watched a video. There's some scripting you can do to actually track how much of the video they've watched. So I only watched 50% of the dissection of Agora Financial Control with highest customer value ever, Mike Morgan. You too. I want to make sure I save that. That's a good. Anyway, so let us go to, here we go. And if you have trouble seeing the screen, you want me to enlarge text or anything, let me know. Again, if you have any questions about what I'm saying, fire away. All right, so ActiveCampaign comes with a free plugin. So you install that, and it does all the site tracking for you. All right. As long as you're passing the email, if they click on a link, you're good to go. All right. So let's get into some automations. All right. So what you need to understand is you can get really crazy with automations and make them really long and have multiple branches and if-then statements and, you know, have them handling like 5 different series of emails, but it's way, way, way simpler if you make lots of simple automations with one purpose. So I'm going to show you an example of a tiny automation with a simple purpose. So first of all, click create automation. You give it a name. So I'm going to say tag ActiveCampaign Easy Email Automation Show. So I can say breakthrough email marketing, or I can just say any list. It doesn't really matter. And I only want it to run once. Actually, I want it to run multiple times because they might be signing up for another show and then finally to this show. So I'm going to select Breakthrough Email Marketing Show multiple times. I want them to always check. All right. So if they subscribe to the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show list, I'm going to say ActiveCampaign. I have a custom field in my opt-in form called ActiveCampaign ActiveCampaign Email Automations. So I'm going to say there's lots of different features. I'm going to say is yes. So that's something that you can do. So if you have a weekly show, which is a great idea for, content all the time, a great reason why to email your lists, great list building tool. And so I always put in a different custom field describing the topic of the show, and I manually enter in yes, because that means they signed up to the list and they're interested in that topic of the webinar. Okay. So ActiveCampaign easy email automation is yes. Okay. All right. So yes, they did sign up for that. I'm going to tag them with interest ActiveCampaign. And I'm going to tag them interest email automation. Okay. Now, why would I do that? This is all about ActiveCampaign, but it's all about ActiveCampaign and email automations. And I could have just done one tag, ActiveCampaign easy email automations, but hopefully you can already tell why I would do that, because there's two things going on. Someone's interested in ActiveCampaign itself as an email service provider, and someone's really interested in email automation, because I could follow up the emails just on email automation in general, and the focus is not really ActiveCampaign. So it's good to know that they're interested in ActiveCampaign itself and email automation. And then that's it. So you click active and that's done. So that's like an example of a simple automation. Now let's go to the automation where you would actually start sending some emails, because that's what we want to do. We want to send the right email to the right person at the right time. Checking to see if there's any questions. All right. Okay. So breakthrough email marketing. Again, beginner or advanced questions, fire away. Breakthrough email marketing show, sign up. And if you want to keep things organized, let me cancel this real quick. There is folders. So I have a folder for all my automations for my main product, Email Response Warrior Gold. And then you could put one on tags for all your tagging, your simple automations for tagging. You can tag within the automations for sending emails. It just keeps, like I said, keeps things simple, and you don't want to take the chance that you're going to cause your account to do too much processing before you send the email, because you want the email to go right away. Here we go. All right. So I want to do it on a subscribe, and I'm going to do a full one on a series of emails when someone does something. And then I'm going to go through all the different options, a lot of different ways you can do it. And again, if you have any questions like, oh, wait, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? Let me know. All right. So They subscribe to the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. Now, I can do once or I can do multiple times. Do I want them to go through if they've already signed up? In my case, yes, because I always want to get them the confirmation email. But sometimes maybe it's just once. Maybe if they've opted into a product launch series, you don't want to keep sending them the first email and all that good stuff. So let's keep it simple and just say once. So I'm going to add the start. Okay. So I noticed that I was going to go straight through, but here's a scenario. If you have a survey or any kind of questions on your opt-in form, this is where you would not want to create like 5 different branches. If you had 5 different questions and do that all here, that would be crazy. So what I would do is I would say, again, if you're using custom fields, I would say, all right, ActiveCampaign show is bunny rabbits. So if you just had a question that said, what's your favorite animal? Bunny rabbits. So, okay. Yes. Then I would put them on a new automation. Okay, so I would put them on a series for people who love bunny rabbits. Does that make sense? No? Okay. If let's do the same one. Let's say if you have one question and 5 answers. So you could say ActiveCampaign show is, let's just pretend that it's like, what's your favorite animal? So this one is pigs. Okay. So pigs, yes. All right. Start another automation. So basically, this would become an automation just to send the person to the right one. Or maybe ask if they're male or female, or something simple if they're beginner, intermediate, advanced. So instead of creating automation with multiple branches and then multiple if-thens and you get this huge, massive monster, you would just use this to figure out, okay, who are they and how should I talk to them? Okay, if they answer this way, let's put them in a automation specifically for that. So let's use the beginner, intermediate, advanced. So beginners, okay, let's put them in this automation. All right, they answered intermediate. Okay, let's put them in this automation. They're advanced. Let's put them in this automation. Done. This automation would be done. And then they would each have their separate automations. Make things much simpler, much easier to manage. It'll save you a lot of grief. Okay, does that make sense? Give me some feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and exit. And if you have any questions about features like, oh, so how would you do this or how would you do that? Let me know. So I'm going to say no. And we're going to go back to what I originally said and just going to go through. Okay. All right. So we're back at the original. Let me double check to see if there's any questions. All right. So they've just signed up. I want to send the welcome email. Send an email. I'm just going to do a test. It's number 205, 203. Let's start from scratch. Going to do custom again. Subject line. Or we're going to get into some meat. All right, so copy and paste. Personally, I don't like the email designer. I don't know. What's your preference? I like designing my emails in Dreamweaver. All right. So since this is a 101, I'll just go over some quick basics. You always want to customize link tracking, and especially if you use any kind of Google Analytics, which you should be, you can name it. So this was actually yesterday's show. So it was the BEM show easy email automation. So you want to make sure you name your links. You want to make sure you got reply tracking on. Okay, which is pretty awesome. So if we go back to the email, this is for email designer or custom. So they'll intercept your replies and then forward the email to your from email or your reply to email. So I could have JMH online. You have a different reply to. And if anybody says unsubscribe or remove me or even change my email address, they'll actually do that for you automatically with their evil future robot intelligence, Skynet type stuff. And they won't even forward that to you. They'll just do it and they'll keep a record of it. And then that's it. Saves you a lot of time. But if it's something that's not classified as something like that, like remove me, unsubscribe, or change my email, then they will forward it to your either your from email or your reply to email. So that's pretty awesome. You just want to make sure that you have reply tracking on, okay? Because why? Because that's pretty awesome that it does that for you. And also you can do automations based on if someone replies or not. So you can have an email in your series where you're asking them to reply. It's a simple email, just a yes or a no, or what do you think? And boom, you can either, if they replied, move on to the next email or send a follow-up email and with a different subject line and maybe the same email. So another example of where you can use email automation. All right. So recap, I started when someone subscribes to Breakthrough Email Marketing. Again, if I'm asking some questions, I could do some if-then conditionals and send them to separate automations based on their interests or what they answer on the survey. But here, I want them to get the welcome email immediately. So boom. So I can tag too, but I don't want to tag first. And again, the reason why is you want this email to be sent as fast as possible. So you don't want it going, you know, if then this or if then that, if possible. Again, if you want to tailor specific automations for what they answered, it'll, you know, it's not going to be as fast. So, but for stuff like tagging and stuff, you don't need to do it first. If everyone gets the welcome email, because you can do conditionals. Let me show that real quick, which is awesome. So if you don't send them to separate automations based on their interests, you can just use conditionals within the email to speak differently. Pretty awesome. Let me know if you want me to show you how to do multiple conditionals. All right. So this is a simple conditional. if they have the tag interest : ActiveCampaign, say this. Awesome. I use ActiveCampaign too. So I could say that if I asked what email service provider they use. And if they didn't say, if they don't have the tag interest campaign, I'm going to say, you really ought to look at ActiveCampaign. And then I can make that a link or whatever. So that's a simple. Let me show you how easy that is. You just click on insert conditional content. See, tag exists equal to interest ActiveCampaign. So I could want people interested in ActiveCampaign and who love bunny rabbits, which is me. Let's face it, it's me. All right. And how that would work is this option: show this content if all conditions are met. So that means both ActiveCampaign and bunny rabbits. All right. If I wanted to say the same thing to two groups of people, and then maybe if I don't know something, then say something else, I would say any condition. So that would mean, so if they have an interest in ActiveCampaign or an interest in bunny rabbits, I want to say this. And if they don't have either of those, I'm going to say that. So you just click OK and boom. So ActiveCampaign, bunny rabbits, say this. If not, say that. And again, if you want me to show you how to do multiple, let me show you, because they're trying to keep it simple. So they're doing simples, but I've actually done it where you could be like, if they're interested in ActiveCampaign or bunny rabbits, or if their interest is in Aweber or InfusionSoft, say that. Otherwise, say that. And I can show you that if you want, or I could leave that for another show. All right, someone has said it, so I'm going to do it really quick. And if it doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. So you got to do this manually, and I could possibly give you the code. So it gives you an example, but I'll just do it right here. So basically, you would copy this. Oh, one sec. And ta-da. And then you would put else. So if they're interested in ActiveCampaign or bunny rabbits, otherwise, if they're interested in Aweber, or I could say InfusionSoft, I could just say pigs, say this, never, and InfusionSoft. But then I want to put the else again. So again, this is more advanced, so don't worry about it if it doesn't make any sense. So if their interest is ActiveCampaign or bunny rabbits, say this. If their interest is Aweber or pigs, say that. If they're neither ActiveCampaign, bunny rabbits, Aweber, or pigs, say this by default. So maybe it's an optional question and you don't know, then you say that to whoever else where you don't know what they're interested in, right there. Okay. And if you wanted to do both, again, you would say all. So basically the two pipes changed to 2 ampersands. That's the only difference. So if they're interested in ActiveCampaign and bunny rabbits, I'm going to say that. And else if. Right. So now because I changed the pipes to ampersands, it's if they interested in ActiveCampaign and bunny rabbits, say this. Otherwise, if they're interested in Aweber and pigs, say that. And if they're not interested in all 4 of these, or I just don't know, say this. So hopefully that makes sense. As you can imagine, this is probably why they don't do the advanced conditionals in the drop down, because it just adds to a lot of support and most people don't need it. A really good way to use this is upselling or cross-selling in your emails. So if you're tagging people based on what they buy, which I do, you could say, you know, if they have the tag email response warrior, promote this. Or if they own email inbox warrior, promote this. So you can do a lot of cool things, but that's a little more advanced. So I just wanted to show you that real quickly. But that's just an example of if you didn't split people into multiple automations, you still can customize the email. And again, the real simple way is just to be like, insert conditional content. You can do it by tag. You can do it by custom fields. So if you're asking for the ClickBank ID, if they're your affiliate, you could say something personal to one person if you wanted to. You can do it by date. And here's the events. So you could say things to everyone that's registered for the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. So I could send an email and I wanted to, it's about the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show, but it's going to my customers from Email Response Warrior. So I want to say one thing if they've been to a show. So I would say event BEM show register, because that means they've registered for one show. I don't care what the show's about. So I just want to know that they have registered. So I want to talk to everyone that's a customer of Email Response Warrior and has registered for at least one show. So I would say event BM show register. Then I could do everyone that's downloaded an audio. And I can do specific audio, specific events. So you just have to play around with it. And guys, it's so easy. I just got done chatting. I chat 24/7 usually. Probably a day doesn't go by that I don't chat. If I have a quick question, they're there to help you. And then also you can do by region as well. So just a lot of different options. You can play around with that yourself. But it's really cool that you can customize the message. So as I was saying, I could send an email to my customers and say one thing for those who have registered for a Breakthrough Email Marketing Show, and then say another to my Email Response Warrior customers who've not registered for the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. You're welcome, Francis. No problem. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. That's pretty awesome that you can actually talk to people differently within the email. Not going to find that in Confusionsoft, are you? The one service that does have it is Drip, but I've compared it. I bought an account and it doesn't compare. It's close, but no cigar. Especially the conditionals, you have to learn some kind of programming language to do it. So I wouldn't recommend it. All right. So you have this welcome email. It goes out. Awesome. Okay. Now we want to send another email, right? Wrong. Okay. So this is a beginner mistake. I actually made it. I needed to be shown the light. So, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to see if they've opened or clicked or applied, right? Wrong. Okay. So to get an email, you got to give them time to do something. All right. So what you want to do is you want to wait. So depending on what's going on, if that's an email to someone about a product, you maybe want to check 30 minutes. Have they clicked? Yes. Okay. Maybe I want to follow up right away. But typically you want to wait 1 day. All right. You could say 24 hours. You can do minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. Pretty powerful. But let's just go with, keep it simple, 1 day. So that should be, your go-to. All right. I just enlarged the screen. Does that make it better or does it matter? Just want to make sure you guys can see things clearly. So I'm going to save that. Boom. I'm going to wait a day. All right. What you can do right away, though, is tag. So if you don't have another simple automation that's just tagging people, you could do it here. So let's add a tag. So if they're signing up for the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show, maybe I just want to tag everyone as the Breakthrough Email Marketing Show. So I'm going to do BEM. All right. So that way, if I really wanted to laser target something, I could easily say email response warrior customers who have the tag BEM. And then I can just send one email just to those people. It's better, larger. Okay, thanks. So that just for example, I want to add the tag BEM. And then, because you don't have to wait. This has nothing to do with them. It's just what your internal process is, your organizational process. So we can do an if then. So can you see the reason why you don't want to do that immediately? You want to do that after you send the welcome email. If you're not sending them off to different automations, you want to send the welcome email right away. Does that make sense? Okay. But after you send that first email, if you're not checking to see if they engaged, like they opened, clicked, or replied, then you can do some stuff. You can tag them. You can do it if else, because maybe, like for my example, I have a hidden custom field with a topic of the show with yes. Or I could do city. City is Las Vegas. So maybe I want to segment them. I live in Las Vegas, so it'd be pretty awesome building rapport and relationship with your list, getting them to fall in love with you if you could actually like meet up with them once in a while just to hang out. Actually, no. So you can do multiple. City is Las Vegas and ActiveCampaign is yes. Okay. So you can do multiple conditionals. I'm just going to do one if they're on Las Vegas. Okay. So that's just an example. I'm going to take that off. So when you remove something, you can either remove both yes and no, or you can just keep the yes. Because why would you want to do that? Because if you don't really care about the no, then that just clogs it up. So see how that keeps a straight line? All right. All right, so we added the tag BEM. You can do whatever else you want. That has nothing to do with whether they're engaged. You wait a day, and now you can say under actions, so quickly you can say, are they in the list? Do they have the tag? Do they not have the tag? Are they not in a list? Site and event data. So total page visits, you can target mobile. See, is desktop, is mobile. So, oh, they're reading on mobile. Maybe you want to tag them as mobile. The personal data, you can target people that are on Facebook. Maybe you want to send them an email to get them to like your Facebook page or join your Facebook group. Now, just because they don't have, just because they're not a member of Facebook with their email address they used to subscribe doesn't mean they're not on Facebook. It just means that the email they used is not their Facebook email. So that's a little tricky right there. All right, so lots of stuff you can do, but we're going to go on actions. Has click to link. So you want to go to that specific email. So let's just assume that's it. You want to do any link or specific links. So any link could be update their contact records. So you got to be careful with that. So let's just say it's click to link, they've registered. Now I can either send them the second email in the series, or I can send them a follow-up to the first email. Hey, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So let's do another example, or let's just say has not. Has not clicked on a link. And actions, has not opened. Again, we want to get the same email. Add one more condition, and has not opened. All right. Now we can do something. And again, this is just an example. If the email is just all about getting them to reply, you could only do one, and you can say, or sorry, has not opened, has not clicked, has not replied. So this example is they haven't engaged whatsoever with the email. So I don't want to send them the next email in the series. I want to send them a follow-up to the first email with maybe a different subject line to get them to engage. Does that make sense? But if the previous email sent a day earlier, the sole purpose was to get them to reply. It was short and sweet, simple. And then you could just do one of these, has not replied. Or if the sole purpose is just to click. So this, I'm just trying to get engagement. Maybe I want to check to see if it's a real person or not. If they're targeted, if they're motivated, or if they're just a looky-loo. So I'm going to say, yep. So all these are have-nots. So I want to send a follow-up email to the yeses. Yes means they haven't replied, clicked, or opened. So I want to send them an email. No means they've done one of these. Or actually, no means they have done at least one of these, because this one is pretty absolute. I just want to know if they've done one of those things, or if sorry about that. I want to know if they haven't done anything. Okay, replied, clicked, opened. Okay, so they probably didn't get it. All right, or if they got it, they just don't care. Maybe they're busy. So I'm going to respond. So if any of that is not true, maybe they didn't open, didn't reply, but they did click, this no will catch that. Or maybe they didn't reply or open and they clicked, or maybe they opened but didn't click or reply, this no will catch that. But if they haven't done all the three, that means they haven't engaged whatsoever, so I'm going to send them a follow-up here. If it's a no, I can assume they've done one of these things. Does that make sense? So, yes, send them an email. Let's just do test. And just pretend this is not test 2003. This is test number 2003 / or hyphen follow-up not engaged, or not responded, not responsive, whatever you want to call it. But you should have create a new email. But let's just say that is a new email. It's different from the first one. You can send the same email again, but I wouldn't do that. Okay. You can send them another email. No. All right. So here's where you have options again. No means they've done one of the things. They've either replied, opened, or clicked. So no, what you could actually do is, okay, I'm going to put them on another automation. Series 2. All right. Because these people right here in the yes column, they haven't done anything on the first email, so I need to follow up and I need to engage with them. These guys, they've done something. All right. Let's move them on to a separate automation, and we'll just from right here, we're just going to focus on engaging with our prospect or customer. Okay. These guys, let's move them on to a different series, because we know that they've opened, clicked, or replied. And then let's go ahead and end this automation for that person. It's not going to end it for the yes people who haven't done anything. It's only going to end it for these guys. Does that make sense? All right. So we've sent the second email. It's a derivative. It's related to, it's a follow-up to the first email here. Okay. You're waiting one day. They haven't done anything. And this is just the default scenario. You usually want to give them the first email, and then you want to follow them up. You could change that to 3 days depending on what it is, but just for keeping it simple, we'll just assume that you want to send them another one right away. So we've sent them a follow-up email. Maybe it's the same, but it's got a different subject line. Maybe you're, at the minimum, change the subject line, same email, because maybe they just got busy. Maybe they opted in and the baby cried, or they're heading out the door. So maybe you just need to catch their eye again with a subject line, and the same email will be fine. Or maybe they didn't have images turned on and the email really just didn't resonate for them. It was just like, what's in it for me? I don't know. This is dumb. I don't really care. So you can address both by changing up the subject line and changing up the content a little bit. Or you could just leave the email the same and then just add to it at the top, hey, by the way, I noticed you didn't X in the welcome email I sent you a day ago. So I just wanted to make sure you saw this. It's important because blank. Here's what I wrote you yesterday. So that's ideally what you want to do. Why? Because that way you hit two bunnies with one stone. Hopefully you never hit a bunny with a stone, but I think you get the picture. Okay. So if you do the change in the subject line and a little change in the email, you target two people. One, you target people that maybe just got busy. They had to go to the store after they opted in and they didn't get a chance and they just missed it. Or maybe they have a huge mailbox and they opted into several things and yada, yada, yada. And you're targeting people that actually went to their inbox. Maybe they opened it without turning on images. Maybe they saw a preview in Outlook and they're just like, meh, I don't really know if I want to go through this. And so you're targeting them as well. So does that make sense? Versus if you send the exact same email, people that missed it, that might be good. But people that saw it and were just like, meh, they're going to see the same thing. So just wanted to give you a little bonus today. I know this is just about automations, but I wanted to, give you some little email marketing advice as well. So then we can do another conditional. That was a quiz. You should all be screaming, no, don't do it. Wait. Yes, if sending another email, you want to wait. But one tag to consider adding is, if they haven't done that, see, we could just stop this automation right here. So that's another scenario, is if they have opened, clicked, or replied, we're going to send them to the active engaged automation. All right. And if this is true that they've done nothing, they haven't opened, replied, or clicked, instead of sending them a follow-up email here, what we can do is, oops, sorry. Add a tag. Not responsive. Shazam. And we can end this automation. And we can make that non-responsive for this specific form, breakthrough email marketing. So you could stop this automation right then and there, send people that open, clicked, or replied to the active guys automations and continue the welcome series. Or these guys, they're not responsive. They didn't respond to my first email. Dang it. Let's move them over. Actually, you don't have to move them over. Let's do another automation. So just a lot of different variations you can do. You can do new automation, BEM not responsive. That stands for breakthrough email marketing. Tag is added. Not responsive. Again, if you have lots of different lists, a lot of different ways to get on your list on, different lead magnets or whatever, you want it to be more specific. So the tag could be BEM, not responsive, but let's just leave it non-responsive. And again, we can do it one time because maybe they opted in, they didn't respond. We'll put them in through this once to get them to engage with us. But if they opt in again and they don't respond, we don't really care because they've responded once before. Or you could just be like, no, dang it, you're going to respond every single time. So they could go into the BEM, non-responsive automation every single time. Boom. So again, they've been added to the non-responsive tag. You've already waited a day. Okay, so you already waited a day. They meet this criteria that they've done nothing. They haven't opened, they haven't clicked, they haven't responded. You tag them with not responsive. You end the automation. And then you can immediately start sending the follow-up email here. Dang it, why didn't you respond? I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better and helping you achieve X without having to do Y. And you send the follow-up series from there. And then you can do as many reiteration follow-ups as you want. You can wait another day, you can wait 2 days, and then you can have a final tag that says these guys are idiots or they're just not a targeted prospect, so let's get rid of them. Does that make sense? So that's how you could keep the automation super, super simple. So again, you can have these really tiny, simple automations. So this automation is just to get them to respond to the first welcome email. All right. Yes, they haven't responded. Okay, we're going to tag them as not responsive, and we're going to put them on the automation for non-responders. Okay, here, which can be started just because they have the tag not responsive. Or that's just showing you the power of things you can do. You can start automations just simply by having a tag added or a tag removed. Okay. But even just doing that will work. You don't need to send them to the automation because ActiveCampaign is so powerful that they'll start the automation without you moving them there just because they have the tag added. And here's what's cool. If you wanted to, you could keep people that have responded in this automation. Kick all the non-responders out to their own automation, whether just by a tag or actually moving them. And then instead of ending this automation, well, let's leave that ending automation there. We could say, so we don't have to tell them to enter automation series 2. If the answer is no, they have done one of the things, open, clicked, or responded, we can add a tag. Responsive. Again, if you have multiple ways to get in there, different products, you want to keep it specific. Or you could be responsive, colon, and then describe it. BEM or break the email marketing show. Save. Boom. So you could add the tag. You can move them into automation or just end it because you can start the responsive automation series simply by having the tag. So it just gives you a lot of different options. The best way to learn this is just to play around. There's an active and inactive, so you can do all kinds of crazy things, and don't worry about it. It's not going to automatically start doing crazy stuff to your existing contacts. You have to click active. So you can play around as much as you want. Make sure it's still inactive, and then you could be asking live support, hey, what if I do this? What if I do that? What happens? Can you help me set up this properly? And they'll help you. And occasionally you'll get this form. That just means, you just hit like a spot in the time space continuum where one of their 50 million support people is not available for chat. So you just send them a message and they'll get back to you. Any questions so far? I just started a poll. So I just started a poll just based on the feedback from the ActiveCampaign users group on Facebook. You can reach it if you're not a member already. It's free just by searching for ActiveCampaign on Facebook. Just click the join group and I'll accept you. So based on the feedback, people like the support, but they love having someone do demonstrations and show them how to do things. So I put in a poll because I was talking to Norio, because he's my programmer. He's the best programmer I've experienced in over 18 years. And I basically know every single file downloaded, the type of file downloaded. I know every single video someone has watched, especially in my members area. I know how much of the video they've watched, which video. I know which audios they've downloaded, which audios they've listened to, and how much of the audios. My Abandoned Basket series is all automated. So we were thinking that, you know, rather than me just saying, hey, hire Norio at $100 an hour, I think he's now $150 an hour because he's in such high demand from like Andre Chaperon and a lot of other big marketers, including myself. Instead of doing that, why don't we combine forces? And based on my ideas and my 18 plus years of doing, you know, high level email marketing, why don't we offer a monthly coaching group where you get coaching calls, you can ask, you know, all the questions you want, get live demonstrations on how to handle issues that you're having and how to figure out how to do things. And you get access to all these advanced AC tools. I use these tools with copying and paste and changing code a little bit because I'm kind of advanced. These AC power tools would be more user-friendly, and just with the low monthly fee, you'll get the coaching and unlimited access to all the tools. You get to submit feature requests like, oh yeah, you know, I want to integrate Wistia, and I want to know all that cool stuff. Like right now, I have it integrated with YouTube, all my YouTube videos. But if you're like, hey, you know, I want to do Wistia too, we can do that as well. And there'd be like an email abandoned cart automation series, stuff like that. So if you said yes to that poll, go ahead and ping me privately on Skype or email, reply to an email message me on Facebook and let me know if you're interested in that. Someone had a question. Are there actual lists or is everything automation driven? No, there's lists and automations. So we've been going almost an hour and a half. So if you have any questions, let me know now. So I have lists. Some people just use tags. And I love tags. So there's a tag manager, which is very nice. And some people prefer that. Just from an organizational standpoint, I like them in lists. Like if I just want to email everyone on the breakthrough email marketing list, I just want to create a campaign and check off breakthrough email marketing, send it. All right. I don't have to worry about, getting the tags or whatever. I mean, you can, but it's just simpler for me just to check breakthrough email marketing and just send the email. But some people think it's tags. And I understand why a few people are hesitant and they're like, whoa, wait a second, lists, because people like Aweber and InfusionSoft and Entreport, they actually charge you if you have they count one person against your account, whatever your plan is, multiple times if they're on multiple lists. So if they're on Email Response Warrior and Breakthrough Email Marketing, they count as 2 people. What if they're on Affiliate Email Warrior? What if they're on Email Inbox Warrior? That's 4 or 5 times counting against my plan. That's not how it works with ActiveCampaign. They could be on 50 lists, still one person. Another awesome thing about ActiveCampaign. So just from an organizational standpoint, I like lists because even as entrepreneurs, and we're just like, oh yeah, tagging is so awesome. We just need tags. ActiveCampaign has a gazillion, hundreds of thousands of clients, a lot of them brick and mortars or more corporate than us. So, and people are used to lists. So if you don't like lists, don't use lists. Just have one list and then just have everybody tagged. You have choices. Just me personally, I like lists and tags. So hopefully that answers your question, Rick. Any final questions? I got to get back to work on my launch of Email Image Magic. If you haven't signed up for the pre-launch list, it goes live on Monday. I'm actually doing a sneak peek on Sunday. Posted the link in the chat and in Skype. Any additional questions on email automation? So again, there's a lot more advanced stuff. We could be doing CRM stuff. We could be sending texts. We could be notifying. So if the tag not responsive is added, you can say plus. Let's notify. You can notify yourself. You can notify your assistant, your head of customer happiness. Send to bunnyassistant@gmail.com. This bunny no love me long time. Little bunny, my wife is laughing right now. Yo, follow up with this wabbit. No open, no click, no click, no reply, no honey love. Boom. And if it's a customer, they could call them. If it's a prospect, they could just email them back. And what's awesome about ActiveCampaign, even for the beginner accounts, is that if they use their email that they use for social media, you can actually hit them up. You can add them as friends. You can message them on Facebook and LinkedIn and all that cool stuff. So that's another thing you could do. So pretty awesome. One of the many things you can do: send them a text, send them an email, notify someone. You can update their contact record. Update a custom field. All kinds of stuff. Again, any final questions, you can add a note. This bunny loves us long time. Send them a carrot. Whatever. So you could identify, you can tag, put a note on their account record, use the CRM to identify raving fans. So you could do if tag exists, BEM, tag exists, ERW gold. Tag exists, EIM, so you can say, wow, if they have the tag breakthrough email marketing, email response warrior gold, email image magic engaged, these guys are studs. Yes. Okay. So let's put them in automation, send them a gift, or just send them an email and give them a discount or a gift. Or we can notify our head of customer happiness and get them to follow up with them and just engage with them. A lot of awesome stuff. Thanks to everybody with the pings on the interest in the AC coaching. All right, guys. It's been an hour and a half. Appreciate it. Again, if you don't have ActiveCampaign or even a free trial account, even if you have a free trial account, you're ready to make the change, I appreciate it if you use ActiveCampaignRocks.com. My head is chopped off because I'm 6'11". So there we go. That's better. Let me put that in the Skype group. Thanks, every. So even if you have a free account and you're ready to upgrade to paid, go ahead and use ActiveCampaign Rocks before you log into your account and upgrade. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead. They have a free trial, no CC required. And whether you get an account or not, and you just want to ask more questions, you feel free to go on Facebook and search for ActiveCampaign. You'll see the ActiveCampaign Juggernauts Power Users Group under Chaperone, Justin Brook, Robert Corey, a lot of big time guys are in there. And people are always asking questions and getting a lot of answers. So once again, Big Jason, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And remember, email image magic, unlimited dynamic personalized images in your emails to boost response like nothing else. Goes live on Monday. So emailimagemagik.com. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks.